Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to all the Scorpios out there. If you are a Scorpio sun, moon, rising, or north node, this is your tarot reading for the upcoming month of February of 2025. And in case any of you are interested, I will be using my Osho Zen Tarot deck, which I just adore. The symbolism has been on point so far, and I trust it will be the same for you guys as well. So, let's see what Scorpio has in store for February. All right, Scorpio. So at first, about half the deck fell out when I was shuffling, and since it was too many cards, I tried to put them back in, and these two cards refused to go back in. So these are your first two. First one is the Two of Pentacles. It's represented by moment to moment. The Empress, creativity. And then we had the Page of Swords reverse, the mind. The Four of Swords upright, postponement. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords reverse, mortality. Morality? Morality, not mortality. And so off the bat, before the Four came out, this is, in general, this is a very positive reading. There are just some things to be aware of moving forward. You have been allowing yourself to exist more prominently in the present moment. And because of that, you're able to kind of trust where your feet are guiding you. Like if you come up to a crossroads or you need to make a decision where in the past you may have ruminated on it a lot, you may have been stuck in the mind and unsure of like how to decipher what is actually right for you, where now you're just like, you're out of your mind in a good way. Like you're not, it's not overriding you right now. And you really are leaning into that gut, that intuition, that quality, that sensitivity that you have. That's really your superpower here, Scorpio. And it's almost like, and I love the symbolism of this card, like this man has his eyes closed, and we can assume that the rainbow waves represent some sort of water, and he's jumping through it. And they're waves. It's not like it's still water. It is what some may consider troubled waters, but he's not troubled. He knows that wherever I put my foot, that stone will be. It's not about, I have to follow every single step that I take. It's trusting that my body knows where to go. My gut knows how to lead me to safety, to the next rock. It's not even about safety here. It's just my body knows what to do to move me forward, where my mind doesn't really have to play chaperone, almost like be a babysitter for your body, which in the past, I think that might have been what you've been moving through. It's your mind had too much control, overthinking. Bitterness is a word that just came up too. You might have been stuck in a cycle of bitterness there too. But now you're moving away from that, and you're letting your mind kind of have a reprieve from all of the extenuous, that's not a word, but you know what I mean, but from the rattling, essentially. And that's also emphasized by the Four before we get into the other two. The Four, although it does say postponement and she looks kind of solemn with it, the Four of Swords represents a respite from your day-to-day, from your business as usual. And although the Swords is all about the mind, the Four of Swords is about letting your body rest so your mind can just shift through whatever it needs to shift through, get cleared out, find the clarity, and then move forward. Although the word clarity is interesting because with the Page and the Queen of Swords reverse, it's almost denoting that like there is no clarity. Ultimately though, like rather than there not being clarity and you feeling lost in the fact that there's not clarity, it's more like there's nothing going on up here in a good way. Like Scorpios, you guys are usually very intellectual. You're very, although you are like more feeling, more sensitive, you know how to utilize the strength and the power of your intellect to maneuver through this earth. So there is always like a constant flow of your mind, just like rapid firing, processing information, taking it all in to then feel in your body to let your body guide you. Where now it's like you decided to just turn the lever off up here and trust only the gut. It's like, again, you're going through life blindfolded right now, but it's not like you willingly put on the blindfold to test how far your body can take you. And you're actually finding that without this being on overdrive and having to hyperanalyze everything, your body is leading you towards this like this really deep creative connection where you're at a place, you're maybe quite literally physically in your body, you feel into this space where you are awakening this inner creator within you. And because of that, not only are you able to make really great art right now, I highly recommend, especially with these two, like look at all the colors between the two of them. I highly recommend any form of artistic expression, whether it's painting, drawing, sculpting, dancing, singing, writing, whatever it may be. Dive into that artistic expression right now, because you are in a place where you are resonating with the frequency of your body that resonates with that creative field, where in the past your mind has been on overdrive, and when you lean into the mind, you're leaning into a different frequency than when you're in your gut, in your heart, in your body, in your soul. So really take advantage of that while you are in this experiment of leading with your heart, leading with your gut, leading with your body. And you might even surprise yourself with what you can create right now. And not only artistically, but what you can manifest into your life right now. And I think what February represents is you're going to recognize you don't need to rely on the processing of the mind in order to get to where you're going. You don't need to hyperanalyze everything and try to subtly put yourself in positions where you think it would be best to move forward. Like you're finally, and this is an opposite message that Leo got almost, where Leo is encouraged to use their foresight. Right now you are encouraged not to. You're encouraged to kind of take a step back and really settle into the body rather than having the mind trying to dictate where I'm going, what I'm doing, who said that, who said what, who can I trust, who can I... It's like you are out of your mind, and it's brilliant. It's exactly what you need in order to get those creative juices flowing, in order to move forward there. And that's like exciting. That's really exciting. And so this 4 wants to be spoken about again before I shuffle again. Part of you may feel like I wouldn't be surprised if the Hermit comes out when I shuffle. Part of you may feel like you are like missing out, or if you're spending more time alone than you're used to, or you're not doing your activities, like say you go to like a pottery class once a week and you haven't been going, and you can't figure out why, but you're just not feeling the draw to go right now. Your mind is going to want to tap into like that FOMO aspect of it, like, oh, I didn't go again, and kind of like feel bad about it. But you're not going because your body is telling you not to go. So there's still this subtle part of you that is listening to the awareness. Even though your mind thinks you're missing out, your body knows you're exactly where you need to be. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of the mind's tendency to kind of create drama where there really is none. If you're following your gut and you're following your body and you're following these subtle urges to do or not to do, the not doing is just as important as the doing. And right now you are in that period of not doing in terms of the external, because there's so much going on internally. There's a lot of alchemization and creativity and creation going on internally that your body needs time to almost calibrate it. And if you're constantly going out and surrounding yourself in the energies of other people or other like opportunities and focused everywhere outside of yourself, this doesn't have the opportunity to integrate, because this is really powerful energy together. Especially, it's almost like you are leading yourself towards that creative freedom. And if you allow it the time and the space and the postponement of what you think you need to be doing, you allow it the time to actually settle into your body and not only become a frequency you need to anchor into in order to express it, but rather it's now a frequency you walk with. And rather than trying to express that or feel that frequency, you're just living it because you gave it the time to settle into your body before going out and bringing it to the world. So that is what I think this period represents. It's, yes, you are out of your mind, but it's the best thing that can happen for you right now, because it's leading you to this brilliance that I don't even think you are aware is in you quite yet, but it's there. It's there, and it's only the only way it's coming out right now is by allowing your mind to just and coming back to yourself, anchoring into your energy rather than your thoughts. Oh, I like that. Let's see what else we have. What did I say? That's the Hermit, aloneness. And a lot of cards just fell out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards fell out, and then 7 is on the bottom of the deck. And it's interesting because we had 2 more 2s fall out. So we have all of the 2s except the 2 of Wands right now. So we had the Two of Cups reverse, the Five of Wands upright, totality. Oh, and Two of Cups reverse is friendliness. The Two of Swords upright, schizophrenia. Which, don't panic, I'll get into that. The Chariot, awareness. So the Chariot and the Empress coming out, and Justice. And the King of Cups, healing. So the three major arcana cards. Oh, and this one's on the side too. The Sun reversed, innocence. So the four major arcana cards that came out. Empress, Chariot, Justice, and then the Sun reverse. Oh, and the Hermit, of course. But, I mean, we already kind of talked about the Hermit. And again, this just wants to be emphasized. If you are feeling that need to go within, it's for a good reason. Don't be mean to yourself about it. Don't give in to FOMO. Trust that where you are is where you're supposed to be. Trust those inner urges. If you're sitting on the couch scrolling on your phone and all of a sudden, like, you just have this, like, urge to get up, but you feel like you're stuck, literally throw your phone across the room, get up, and let your body guide you to what it wants to do. And again, especially in terms of expression, artistic expression. But ultimately, like, this Hermit period, this period where you are allowing your mind to kind of simmer and cease movement, cease noise, is really internally healing for you. And it is through that healing that you're learning to trust yourself again. I think there was a lack of trust due to circumstances of your past, fill in the blank. You learned that you can't trust yourself, or maybe that your feelings were too big, or that your sensitivity is something to be ashamed of. And we do have the Six of Swords at the bottom, and that's represented by the burden. And I think that your sensitivity, you learned in the past, has been a burden to you, not to you, has been a burden to the people around you. And it's only because you, Scorpios, you move naturally with this depth of character, with this depth of person. You're able to pierce the veil, like pierce through what people, like, you can see through projections. You can see very clearly through projections. And people don't like being seen when they are trying so hard to project what they want you to see. Which is interesting that this is the opposite message of Leo, because that was Leo's thing. That's really interesting. Leo's thing was about stop projecting, like stop pretending, essentially. And I don't know why I'm talking about Leo so much in this. It's just really interesting. It's fascinating that you guys are on like two opposite sides of the spectrum with this. You are the person that is able to see through the projection that people want people to see. And it makes them uncomfortable that you can see them even more deeply than they may see themselves. And so you probably learned in the past, due to people's reactions to this superpower, because that's what it is, to the superpower of sensitivity that you had, you learned that my sensitivity is not good because like I'm losing my friends by just speaking on things that I can see so clearly, and I think I'm helping them, but they're getting angry at me. And you learn to kind of like put a blanket on that fire, put a blanket on that flame, causing it to go out. But this space that you're creating for yourself in the month of February is truly, truly a gift of healing that you're giving to yourself. You're increasing your awareness of the sensitivity. And with Justice coming out, you're realigning that karmic balance of you suppressed this superpower for way too long. You suppressed your sensitivity for too long. And at some point, the scales have to tip back into balance. And that's what you're doing here. So on one side, you focus too heavily on trying to keep other people comfortable, maybe, even if it was subconscious, even if it was a thing that you were doing in response to one time somebody made you feel bad for your sensitivity. And so you just were like, what sensitivity? That's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. And so to the one side, even if you weren't doing it on purpose to make people more comfortable, you suppressed it because there was an instance where you did make somebody uncomfortable. And so it's been tipped to the side for too long. So now you're putting that focus back on yourself in this hermit mode. And so you may be leaning too far to this side now, where you're only focused on your own comfort. You're only focused on your own like gut instincts. But eventually the scales will balance back out. But you need this time. You need this time on this side of the spectrum to relearn how to tap into this power that you have within you, how to tap back into that sensitivity and utilize it for your ultimate growth, for your ultimate healing, and for your ultimate fulfillment. Because you learned that the mind is the one that has the power because it takes in and processes information. But ultimately, through this experiment you're doing now, you are learning that your body can actually get you to where you are meant to be, even if your mind doesn't quite understand that. The mind is the slowest processor in our bodies. If we're thinking about like intuition, if we're thinking about survival instincts, the mind is behind. The mind is behind those gut reactions, those gut instincts. And so when we ruminate in the mind, not only are we processing behind what our gut and our body already knows, then we start to overthink our decisions and we just get ruminating. And I think that's where you were previously, but now you are learning through this experiment by putting on this blindfold that your gut and your instincts and they're so strong. They are so strong and they are capable of getting you to where you need to go. And right now, as you're leaning towards this side of the scale, where you need to go is this deep inner healing, to awaken this awareness of this power that you have within. And right now, your creativity, your ability to express and create is going to help you recognize that at an even deeper level. It's just about taking the time for yourself. And I think that's the biggest theme of February. It's about taking the time for yourself. And with 3 of the 2s coming out as well, and the only 2 being the 2 of Cups, which I think the only thing that wants to be said about this, when the 2 of Cups is upright, it's like, oh, new faded relationships coming into your life. When it's reversed, we could say it's the opposite. It's you coming into relation with yourself. It's you going back into yourself and finding that soulmate relationship with the self, finding that cohesion, that relationship with the mind and the gut and the heart and the body and the soul, rather than just having the mind be at the top of the totem pole, because the mind is the slowest processor. The mind slows us down. And again, I'm just kind of hammering away at this because it's lessons you already have subtly been learning by the time you're going to be watching this video or by the time February rolls around. It's lessons you'll already be subtly understanding because you've been moving through this experiment maybe without even realizing it. Some of you, it has been intentional. Others, I think you won't even realize it until you listen, until you understand, oh my God, so that thing that I just naturally did 3 weeks ago, that was me listening to my body. I didn't even realize it, but oh my God, it felt amazing to be in that frequency. So go into your sacred space, go into your alone time and really experiment with that similar frequency. Feel into the feeling you felt when you trusted your gut and it brought you exactly where you needed to be without the mind going on overdrive. Feel into that feeling and how euphoric it may have felt or how much clarity it brought you. Whatever that feeling may be for you, feel into that because it's through that feeling, it's through your sensitivity that you will be able to anchor in this frequency within your body. Rather than trying to catch it somewhere outside of yourself and bring it into you, no, you will be a natural conductor for this frequency within you. But the only way you'll get there is by taking the time to go within and share that sacred space with nobody but yourself. And again, that doesn't mean you can't see your friends or you can't see your family, and obviously. It's just taking intentional time to only be with yourself. And, say you have a family, say you're a mom or a dad or you have a partner. It's just, leaving the house and trusting your partner with the responsibility of the time that you're gone and just say, hey, I need a couple hours. And go walk in a park. Put on headphones or don't, or listen to nature. Just take intentional time with yourself to feel into your feelings and feel into this frequency. And always, always, always bring something to create with. A journal, a paper, a pen, paint, whatever it may be. Oh, never leave your house. Never leave your house without something to create, especially in the month of February. Because you're going to be you are going to have downloads like crazy. Like crazy. And so the last 2 cards I want to discuss, we're getting close to time, is the 2 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. Because both of these, very, very similar messages. This is hanging on to the tightrope and trusting in the 2 people that are here. This is hanging on to the 2 sides. Literally the exact same symbolism here. The exact same symbolism. And I think rather than the resonance of the card messages themselves, I think that symbolism is what is trying to be emphasized here. And actually, if you zoom in, so she's they're not holding on that side. She was just thrown, and she's trusting that it reminds me of that painting. You know the one. The Renaissance. And this is kind of where you're operating right now. This experiment is like a total act of trust, a total act of getting out of the head and trusting that if this person is going to let go of me, if I'm going to allow myself to be released from this side, I trust that I will be caught and I'm not going to plummet. I trust that, yes, while I'm suspended here in the middle between the mind and the body, the heart and the soul, whatever it may be, while I am suspended over this pit of nothingness, I trust that whatever revelations come to me, I will be able to pull myself back up rather than falling to whatever. But there's also the side of that where even if you do fall, you're okay with it because you know it was meant to happen. And maybe the fall while you're suspended, it's through that suspension into the plummet, or through the plummet. Oh my, what am I saying? It's in those moments as you're plummeting, as you're suspended in the air, that you will recognize exactly the lesson that you need. And at the bottom of this, it's not like there's death awaiting you. At the bottom, it's just the bottom. And where do you go from the bottom? There's only up to go from there. So it's like this true, total act of trust and surrender with yourself and with the universe. Because Scorpios, you might not have a label for what you believe to be on the spiritual side of life, but I find that all water signs believe in something. Even if they're atheists, they believe in themselves, and they believe in their free will, and they believe in their ability to trust themselves enough to guide them to where they're going. Could be agnostic, you could just be spiritual, you could be religious, but no matter what, like 98% of the water sign people I know are deeply spiritual, deeply connected in some way, shape, or form. And so this time period in the month of February is a true act of surrender to whatever you believe in. To whatever you believe in, and a trust that wherever it leads you is where you need to be. It's like you're not even worried about the external effects of your actions right now, because you know, like, whatever is presented to you in your external reality, it's just a lesson to be learned and something to move through and something to grow through. And through that moving through it, there are more lessons and there's more wisdom that will greet you there. Like you're sitting at a place of really profound wisdom in the month of February, Scorpio, and it's just about not doing nothing with that wisdom, not doing nothing with that energy. Create. That's the name of the game here. Create, lean into your creativity. And again, you will be surprised with what you are able to come up with right now. Ooh, that was good. That was so good. I'm happy. I feel like the last couple of months, Scorpio, your readings have been like, wah, and now it's like, yay. So a nice shift in energy there. But with all of that said, this was a general reading, so it is possible not everything resonated. If that is the case, you can check out my website in the description below, and you can book with me for personal tarot readings, astrology, human design, and numerology readings are coming so soon. I promise. I'm just being lazy with putting them on the website. But if you are interested, definitely take a look there. It'll be up in the next month or so. And if you did like this reading, leave me a like and leave me a comment and let me know how it resonated. And of course, we do this every single month for all of the signs. So if you are interested in getting your forecast for the month ahead according to the tarot cards, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you guys here in the future, Scorpio, and I would love to see what you do with this healing energy. I'm just so excited. And there's not much else to say. It's just create. Go within. Don't get FOMO, because you should get JOMO, knowing that you have the power right now to create the reality you want. Through creation. I'm so excited to see what you guys do with this. Ooh! Until next time.